Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me here at Watches and Wonders 2023 with one of my favorite people in the watch industry, Christian Selmoni. How are you, sir?
Hey, Wade, how are you? Good to see you.
The pleasure is entirely mine. Now, sir, in your position as Heritage Director of the brand, I think you can give me some very unique insight as to these three watches, all of which are featuring very cool retrograde mechanisms.
Yeah. Okay, Wade, with pleasure. So, all right, so let's start with a bit of history. So, when we speak about retrograde displays at Vacheron Constantin, so let's jump to the wristwatches. So the very first wristwatch that we made with a 31 days retrograde calendar is a wristwatch from 1940, and it was a bespoke watch. It took us 4 years to complete this watch, and according to experts, this is possibly the very first wristwatch ever made with a 31 days retrograde calendar.
Wow.
So this is the historical part.
Right.
And so this year at Watches and Wonders 2023, we are launching three new watches bearing this 31 days retrograde calendar in 3 different collections.
Right.
And in addition, we have one, which we don't have here, which is a unique piece,
it's
Le Cabinotier.
Incredible. So okay, I think what's very interesting, and maybe we can start with the overseas first, is a lot of people don't expect to see a retrograde date mechanism inside of a sports watch. But maybe you can explain to us why you think it's so perfect in this execution.
Yes, I think you are pointing away on something really important. So you are right. I think this kind of complications, so retrograde date and moon phases as well. So I think these are complications that we usually associate with the classic watches, gold on strap, rather than sports watches.
Oof.
And so we thought it would be a combination which would be unexpected. But I think as well, I don't know what you think about, that as we know, there is a great interest for sport elegant watches since now years. And I think these watches are very much, in line with our way of life today.
Yes.
In the 21st century, we are living in large cities, urban life. We do love to have one watch which fits, different, way we are dressed or activities.
Absolutely.
So that's why we thought about creating that timepiece. And yes, I think the result for me, I think this is a great addition in the overseas lineup. Tell us what you think about it.
Well, I love it because I think, the overseas has become, and I know you don't like to use this word, but I can use it, iconic, right? Okay. And I think it's become one of those watches that when you talk about an integrated bracelet sports watch, it's impossible not to have that conversation without talking about the overseas. And I think the overseas, in some complications, actually has probably even mastered it beyond some of the other entrenched players as well. So one of the first ones I think about is the skeletonized perpetual calendar, right? And I think that watch in that execution in the overseas, especially in my favorite, the gold and blue colorway, is so staggeringly beautiful. Like I look at that watch and I think of it as that icon. Now, if you think about it, a perpetual calendar in a sports watch is also not something you would normally expect to have, but it works perfectly there as well, right? Sure. So I kind of like that from there you can go immediately to something like this, which is a smaller complication, but still really cool, and has incredible animation on the dial. You've got the moon phase at 6 o'clock, and then you've got the 31-day retrograde mechanism at 12 o'clock. And I love that this is kind of like a symbiosis of different dimensions of Vacheron in one watch.
Yeah, this is a really cool comparison.
Yeah.
So you know what, on my side, I think also the one thing which is really interesting with the retrograde day display, this is readability.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's great also because it's so wide and overarching. Yes. Okay, to be fair also, I'm pretty old, guys. I'm 54 this year, and the irony is this: when you can afford to buy a retrograde or even a perpetual calendar, it's the day when you can no longer really read it so well. So what I have to say is I really love Vacheron's enhancement of visibility, and this watch is so easy to read. The other thing I have to talk about is whoever is doing the designs, or maybe the committee or group that's moving the designs at Vacheron, you're doing a phenomenal job. The use of this blue is so stunning. And I just love the detail of the light blue indicator for the retrograde date. It's just,
thank you.
I mean, we like clothes, for example. And this whole idea of subtle details in terms of tonal matching, the color of your overcheck, for example. I mean, all these things are significant. And it just creates something stunning to me.
True. And you know what? I really liked that you are commenting the pale blue printing, because this is exactly what I thought, so sophisticated.
Right.
And you're right, I think, concerning the blue. I think our designers, when they created that timepiece, they really made their best efforts to offer such a deep blue, intense blue, which is a kind of contrasting with the calendar.
Yeah.
So I think the balance of this timepiece is just gorgeous.
It's
very
stunning.
much.
So, Christian, let's go from there to a watch that features the date,
Yes.
retrograde 31-day date, but also features another incredible complication known as the tourbillon. Please.
Yeah. So second timepiece of this retrograde year. So obviously, I'm sure you are thinking about one timepiece from 2019,
Yeah.
which is the twin beat.
Yes.
So when we presented the twin beat, please.
Thank you.
In 2019, that was really, phenomenal, I would say, innovation in the watchmaking field. Sorry, and so we wanted really with twin beat to showcase to our clients. I would say the two oscillators and the perpetual calendar. However, this is a traditional case, so this is super classic, like Geneva watchmaking. So we really love that tension between classicism and modernity.
Yeah.
So we have been carrying on with this signature in Traditionnelle, and we are introducing the automatic tourbillon with 31 days retrograde calendar and an open face.
I love what you're displaying here on the top of the watch is basically the mechanism that drives the retrograde date
Yes.
display. And you see the snail camera, or limaçon, I believe is
Yes.
how it's said in French, that shows you where basically there's a spring being loaded, and on the 31st it jumps immediately back
Yes,
to one instantaneously.
absolutely.
And that's just so cool. And then underneath it you have one of the complications that's synonymous with Vacheron Constantin, which is the tourbillon, but also in a really cool configuration because it's actually automatic.
Yep.
But you may not realize it immediately because when you turn it over you can see the entire movement.
Absolutely. So this is due to the peripheral rotor.
All right.
So which is another cool technical solution.
Absolutely fantastic. Then I have to say, another favorite here at Watches and Wonders, a watch that has been shot many times and has been talked about quite a lot, is this beautiful Patrimony in 42.5 mm in diameter in a platinum case and with a gorgeous Soleil salmon dial. Now, the first thing I want to say is when you guys use your colors, so I saw this also in the green tourbillon that you did as well, I think it just launched today. You don't just use basically one color, it's a modulation of colors.
Yes, it is.
And if I look at the salmon, there's like subtle modulations of just a little bit of gray to it as well that takes it away from being very like a little bit garish and making it very like elegant and very subtle, Talk to me about this watch, and it's a double retrograde.
Yeah, true. So maybe just to introduce this two timepiece, so you remember that last year we introduced, I would say like a capsule collection within the portfolio of Vacheron Constantin, which consists of combining platinum case and solvent dial.
Yeah.
So we know that this is a combination that used to be famous in the past, especially for complications like chronographs.
Yes.
So last year we introduced that capsule collection with the Traditionnelle perpetual calendar chronograph. And so this is a capsule which is transverse within the portfolio of Vacheron Constantin. So this year, for the second year, we are coming with this combination in Patrimony, and we decided to choose one of the most recognized Patrimony complicated watches, which is the Double Retrograde, that we have here in this combination, platinum and salmon dial. And you are right when you are mentioning the salmon dial. It's true that on the Traditionnelle you do not have exactly the same salmon color. This is due because the treatment of the dial, I mean the finishing, the other one has a more opaline finishing.
Yes.
But on the Patrimony, we decided to use this very delicate sunray finishing.
The Soleil is beautiful.
Which gives so much life and light to the dial of this timepiece.
I mean, every element of the design of the dials is perfect. I love the subtle dot markers that you use.
The dots are real dots in gold.
Phenomenal.
So they are not basically, like I would say like
printed
dots.
Yeah. Double printed.
Dots.
Yeah, exactly. People love to do that.
Real dots in white gold.
You know what I also really enjoy, again, and we were talking about blue before, but actually the names of the days and actually the dates is also, it's not in black as you would mean.
It's in blue.
It's in blue. And the contrast in these two colors is incredibly charming. Well, Christian, I have to thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure to
as
see
always,
you.
a great pleasure to see you. Okay. All the best to you.
Thank you very much, and congratulations on some wonderful watches.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys.
See you.
Thanks. Bye.